Hey folks, welcome back. It's Sean with Modern Country Living, and beautiful summer day here, getting towards the middle end of August. And I got something that was delivered today, something that kind of piqued my interest, and something that for many of you may be of interest because it goes on my tractor. So it's a new implement, and I'd like to unpack it, show you what it is, talk about how I intend to use it, and walk you through some of the setup stuff with it. And here's the Samurai. All right, let's see if I can get this out of here. Obviously, you do not want to put your fingers anywhere in this area. Definitely don't want to shear any digits off. Let me get this out of here. Show you what it is. So this bad boy is driven by a hydraulic pump here. So this little hydraulic motor is going to run off my tractor hydraulics and run the sickle bar essentially up and down. I actually have a flow control valve that I need to plumb in so that I can control the speed of this, because there's a certain oscillations per minute that you'd like to obtain so that you're not overdoing it or underdoing it. So that's something I got to figure out with my tractor and the connections. So it seems pretty sturdy. Looks like it uses a lot of lock nuts. Makes sense. There's going to be some vibration in it. The powder coating looks all good at this point. So let's open up the other box and see what we got there. All right, so I ordered the Deluxe bracket assembly. So this thing is designed to clamp onto your bucket. Makes it kind of nice. Just slide it on the bucket. Bucket's over here, side of the tractor. You're outside of it with the mount for this. And I need to figure out how this fits up on there. And looks like we've got this bracket here. So a few things for me to figure out. The reason I ordered the Deluxe bracket is I wanted to have the ability to adjust it from vertical to horizontal to, I believe this said you can do 30 or 40 degrees below horizontal. So that'd be nice. My dad can borrow it and take it down to his house and mow along his pond along the edges. Be kind of cool. We're actually talking about taking and building a quick attach plate and having this on a slide bracket so that we can actually get it a little further out to the side of the tractor, so you could actually mow a little bit further away, and it'll actually make it a little bit easier just for transportation and whatnot. So any rate, this hydraulic motor driven sickle bar cuts up to 1.5 inches, and I need to figure out how this all goes together. Work on getting some hydraulic fittings. Oops. And also hydraulic fittings. And I got my flow control valve, so I got to get all that organized. But pretty stoked to see how this works out. So this is the Deluxe bracket right here. And here you can actually see the Samurai. Little hydraulic motor. So one of the nice features of this bracket, the Deluxe bracket, not only can you adjust it, but it's a breakaway bracket. So there's a spring tension on this when it's assembled in here. And if you hit something hard, or if it's up against enough that it wants to deflect, it'll actually uncouple and let the sickle bar, the Samurai, essentially, pivot back, so that you don't damage it, bend it, anything of that nature. This is very heavy duty. Pretty interested in seeing how it all fits together. Welds look good on it. It's, beefy. Got these little rubber stops here in case it does break away, so that it comes up against that. All lock nut hardware. Powder coating looks good. Not seeing anything that's scratched up. Looks like it comes pre-greased. So on the Deluxe attachment, this arm has a bolt, and I've not tightened it yet, but I just wanted to put it in there. Spring-loaded detent here. So you place this into this arm assembly, and then the Samurai lays right over top of it. It's got a U channel, C channel, 2 bolts right there with lock washers and nuts. So that's a fairly straightforward and simple put it together method. So I got to tighten those up. And then you want to evaluate what it says for the fittings that you're going to need. So the ports on my hydraulic motor are 7/8 14 O-ring. And then I need to come out of there and get into what I have on my bucket. Actually, I'm going to need to make up a set of hoses so that I have enough length to get to my hoses on my loader. Okay, we'll call that some progress. All right, here it is with the bracket mounted to the bucket. And you can see the adjustability. And you can see the Breakaway, which, again, this is spring-loaded in here. So you can reset it fairly easily. So I need to tighten that a little bit, or basically increase the pressure. But again, if you get too much pushing on it, it's going to break away. Pretty excited to go out back there, clear up some trails, be able to use it to just groom different areas, and save me some shoulder exercises, right? Sometimes I borrow my dad's pole pruner, chainsaw pole pruner, steel, and go through the trails, and it's, you know, it's a great workout, but you know, one of these days not gonna be able to do it. And being able to use the tractor, whew, seems like a nice idea. So let's get this thing unpacked. Okay guys, so I needed to pick up some of the supplies that I needed for the hydraulic system connection for the Samurai. And as you saw, I have the flow control valve, and I needed some hose. So I had to figure out the length of hose that I wanted, factoring in the fact that I want to be able to adjust where I mount the Samurai. So if I make a skid steer attach plate, a quick attach plate, that I can make some adjustability to be able to move the unit, you know, closer into the tractor or further away. So got a couple hoses with the proper fittings on the ends. These are 1/2 inch, I think they're 1/2 inch, yep, 1/2 inch diameter hoses. I had these made up at a local shop. Guys, last night I got home late after running an errand, and I really wanted to get this thing on the tractor. So I put it all together. I just get excited when I get new implements for the tractor. I don't know. So 10 o'clock last night, I went out and tried it out. And you can see it cuts stuff. Got it mounted on the right side of my tractor bucket. I sprayed some grease, lubrication on the mechanism. I'm pretty excited about what it does. We're gonna go up in the field here. I'm gonna show you how it works. Last night at 10:30, in the dark with the cab lights on and all that, I can definitely see that it does a nice job. You can't go 10 miles an hour. You're not gonna go flying down a trail. You gotta be cautious about what you're cutting, how much load you put on it. You know, you don't wanna try to cut stuff that's, you know, 3-inch in diameter. But yeah, it does a nice job. I've already trimmed some areas on my way out to this spot. And like I said, you know, you kind of see my setup here on the side. So this is definitely not going to stay this way, but right now I just want to get some run time on it, try it out, figure out how I want to mount everything up. Like I said, we might end up attaching it to a quick attach plate, skid steer quick attach plate, That way we can actually slide it in and out. Got an idea for a mechanism there so that I can move it, you know, further away from the tractor if I want, and then bring it back in. I know some guys have done that with hydraulic systems that they can automatically shuttle it in and out. I'm probably going to go a little bit more manual and be able to set and adjust it with like a set screw or whatnot. But yeah, the breakaway definitely works. So if you hit something hard, let's see if I can pull on it, it'll shift back, and then you can reset it. That's kind of a nice feature of this unit as well with the Deluxe bracket, which at this point I'm saying probably a really good idea about the Deluxe bracket, because I tend to get myself into some hairy situations when I'm doing this sort of stuff, and I don't want to break anything. So let's go try it out. You can see this trail definitely has this stuff growing out. And even though I'm cutting a 10-foot swath with the brush hog, the branches keep coming up over the edge. So I'm going to run up this side and then down the other. So I got my RPMs. Let's see. Let's gauge the unit. Okay, let's slow down a little bit there. Okay. The trick is figuring out how fast to cut, how fast to have your equipment going. You can see it's cutting it down there. So I'm going to avoid that tree right there, because it's kind of looks like it might be an ash tree, and we'll try to keep that alive. That one. Now I've got this tilted out a little bit. All right. What's nice is these berries are weighing the trees down. Oh, so there I put it. See back there on the left. I'm gonna trim that. And then up here, hopefully you can see this was all pushed out. Trimming that down. I'm gonna work my way up this trail, which is very narrow at this point. You can see the cut. Now I've got kind of a nice wall versus the stuff that's growing up over here. It was pretty thick up through there. So my initial assessment is this. If you think you're going to plow through this kind of stuff at, 5 miles an hour, you're not going to do it. When you get into some of the thicker, woodier stuff and you're hitting multiple pieces at one time, the unit lets you know. I mean, you can see that's thumb diameter there. Some pretty thick stuff. You can see that up there. Pretty hefty piece. But, oh, look at that. Nice deer trail right through there. They probably like it when it's all overgrown like this, but it's kind of hard on the tractor when I'm mowing the lane. But I'm going to work my way up through there. Thus far, I'd give the unit, all right, so my expectations, I knew when I was watching the videos that you weren't going to be able to fly. And it is like a 36 or 38 inch long sickle bar, you know, cutter section. So when you're dealing with stuff that's, you know, 10 feet tall, you got to make a couple swipes through it, right? But once I get this done, I think in a lot of areas of my property where it's not quite so thick, I can be out there. Like last night, I drove down and like the pine tree on the right side of my trail, I was able to just cut a nice little path through it. I'm not near the trunk, so I'm not hurting anything, but keeps it from brushing up against the tractor.